Five, four, three, two, one. We're going on a trip in our favorite rocket ship, zooming through the sky. Little Einstein, climb aboard, get ready to explore. There's so much to find. Little Einstein, we're going on a mission. Start the countdown. Five, four, three, two, one. Everyone to rocket, rev it up now. We're going on a trip in our favorite rocket ship, zooming through the sky. Little Einstein, climb aboard, get ready to explore. There's so much to find. Little Einstein, come on, let's go. Little Einstein, we need you. Little Einstein, yeah.
Now I will explain about firm's background. Before that, do we know what is market structure? Market structure described as the number of businesses in the market producing similar product and services and whose structure is detected by the level of competition in the market. What about monopoly market? A monopoly is a market defined by a single vendor selling an exclusive product. And what about oligopoly? Oligopoly is a market structure characterized by a limited number of firms, none of which can prevent the others from wielding substantial power. For monopoly market, our group choose Telekom Malaysia, and for oligopoly, our group choose Airasia. Telekom Malaysia Berhad's background. Telekom Malaysia Berhad is a Malaysia's convergence champion and number one converged communication services provider. Provides a full spectrum of communication services and solutions in broadband, data, and fixed line. Telekom Malaysia is motivated by the development of stakeholder value in a highly competitive environment. Telekom Malaysia have three primary platforms, which are education, nation's development, and environment that focus on ICT. Telekom Malaysia is looking forward to continue to serve customers with its comprehensive suites of offering, delivering a seamless digital experience, integrated business solution to meet their lifestyle. Airasia's background. Airasia was founded in 1994 and commenced operation on November 18, 1996. Airasia is an Asia-Pacific premier travel and financial platform firm offering air transportation, travel and lifestyle products as well as financial services. Airasia began as a low-cost airline operations in Malaysia, Indonesia, Thailand, Philippines and India and has flown over 600 million passengers over 160 destinations in Asia, Australia and the Middle East and United States.
I will continue the comparison between Airasia's net Berhad and Telekom Malaysia Berhad. The comparison between Airasia Airlines and Telekom Malaysia Berhad can be differentiated in terms of number and size of firms. Airasia is the most powerful firms compared to other competitors in airlines industry. There are two major competitors in airlines industry, which is Malaysia Airlines and Malindo Air. Meanwhile, Telekom Malaysia Berhad is the largest telecommunication services in broadband and fixed line network. Telekom Malaysia Berhad is categorized as monopoly, which is it is a single firm in the market where it is monopolies the TM-net broadband. For example, TM-net is sole broadband that provided across in the country. The second comparison between Airasia Airlines and Telekom Malaysia Berhad can be seen in terms of the types of product that the firms sell. Airasia Airlines has offered a differentiated products compared to other competitors in order to attain their customer satisfaction. For example, Airasia providing a tour package which is hotel and tour services together with their flight. In contrast, Telekom Malaysia Berhad dominate the market by selling a unique product with no close substitution, which is fixed line network of broadband. The entry and exit barriers is the third comparison between Airasia Airlines and Telekom Malaysia Berhad. Airasia Airlines has a high entrance barriers. It is due to the economic scale, where they can set the price at lower cost because of their popularity in the market. In contrast, Telekom Malaysia Berhad has a high entrance barriers in terms of regulatory on license, where the firms that want to enter this market, they need to obtaining the license from the MCMC. So this regulatory license becomes a bias to the new firms because it is involve a high cost for obtaining the license. Last but not least, the comparison between Airasia Airlines and Telekom Malaysia Berhad can be seen in terms of price determination and price control. The Airasia is opposed to price taker, where it reacts of their competitors while set the price and the business policies. Airasia has a price discriminations where it able to control their price by setting the lower price as compared to their competitors. In contrast, Telekom Malaysia Berhad is a price maker where it absolute to control over the supply to indicate high price if the consumer demand is high. The price discriminations is also exists, but it's a difference in terms of oligopoly market, where the Telekom Malaysia Berhad is offered the different quality of services at the same price. For example, the slow services providing on TM-net as Bosnia broadband is 2 to 10 more faster than in Malaysia at the same price.
Next, we move to SWOT analysis for monopoly market structure. The first is the strength. First is the good or service produced have almost no substitute. It is because only one firm is producing the good or service, for example, Telekom Malaysia Berhad. Second is barriers to entry. This is because some of the monopolies with a significant edge in an industry become identified with business and make entering the industry difficult for other players. Third is economics of scale. By lowering prices would benefit a monopoly by increasing sales and maximizing economies of scale. Fourth is power to maximize their revenue due to the lack of consumer substitute, and the lack of competition also enables monopoly to optimize profit. For the weakness, there are three weaknesses. The first is exploitations of consumer with the high price. The company can find it easy to make goods or service less standard if it wants, because it is widely known that the good has no competing product or services. Next, lack of R&D. After achieving monopoly status, monopolies are less interested in innovation to enhance their business product offering or go beyond their current company. Third, increasingly unfair income distribution. Monopoly companies are sometimes associated with pricing discrimination, in which they charge different prices for the same product or service to different customers. There are four opportunities for monopoly market structure. First, innovation that will bring benefit. Telecommunication companies, for example, control the last mile of internet connection for all mobile devices. As a result, they will receive a portion of the future profit from the mobile internet market. Second, monopoly can grow faster because of monopolies are typically stable. Monopolies can shift their attention away from their current market to expand their business in other areas. Third, the strong position of monopoly. Monopoly can develop complementary items and sell them to their current customer at lower prices, since it is less expensive to recruit and establish customer. Fourth, build trust with customer. These monopolies have established customer trust and familiarity, making it easier for them to utilize their brand reputation to develop new goods or services. For the trades, there are three trades. First, massive cost handling the operation, resources and technique are required to deal with this operation, thus enhancing the overhead financing. Second, threat from new technology. The security of network has risen to the top of priority list for telecommunication companies, and they are confronted with new issues due to the advent of new threats by new technology. Third, can be subject to a bad reputation in public. For example, when a situation arises that threatens TM Berhad in the communication service area, service interruption to land network must be prepared to address the issue. For the recommendations, first, like a natural monopoly, only one company can be accepted as long as its pricing and productivity are regulated. Second, monopolies are not illegal, but their abuse of market power is prohibited from impending competition, and government action to control the market is necessary. Finally, our business need to concern with establishing a pricing level that maximize profit while retaining consumer appeal and demand, and government need to intervene when a corporation abusing its monopoly position to the disadvantage of consumer is in place.
Next, move to SWOT analysis and recommendations of Airasia Airlines oligopoly market. First, strength. Oligopoly market dictate the price of demand and supply, which each control the price on market. Since this market have a few number of large firms to dominate the market, they are non-price competitive to reduce the competition rivals. Airasia Airlines able to control the fare charge to users, and people tend to choose airlines because a high secure, safety and speedy, as well main transport for tourism industry. Second is weakness. An interdependency between firms cause some decision making to all firms with purpose to reduce the competitive market. It hardly to generate a profit and revenue excessive due to collusions and cartel agreement. As an example, Airasia charge less far than other competitors such as Malaysia and Malindo Airlines also will do. As for the opportunity, oligopoly market have a high barriers to enter. This because of legislation recognition in patent, copyright, trademark and license. Besides that, high startup cost, building a new brand to introduce to society for believing and confident have to compete with all the known brand. Hence, this opportunity used to improve the facilities and accommodations and encourage the research and development for convenience and comfortable experience of Airasia Airlines development. Last analysis, SWOT is threat. Threat occur when the market could cause a market failure. Inefficiency distributions, imperfect information and instability cause the market tend to fail because of aggressively on promoting, advertising and marketing of firms that always independent each other due to some attitude to gain more on profit. Airasia Airlines failing market failure if powerful instrument being used excessively to doing ads, marketing and promoting cause a biased profit due to homogeneous services in airlines. Proceed with recommendations of SWOT analysis. First, strength. Focus on strategic behavior by aware and pay attention for firms move illegal silently. Second, weakness. Apply predatory acquisition. It helps to taking over potential and minimize the rival issue out from industry and being compete with strongest firms. Third, opportunity. A recommendation can be used to increasing volume capacity and production, enhance the multilateral and seeking new investors, as well provide affordable and profitable fare charge. And the last recommendation, which is threat, are focused to empowering a legislations to avoid the market failure with government interventions, such as ban firms who deliberately taking advantage, impose high penalties and taxes to firms who overstep the policy and law given as to protect the firms and society.
We'll continue to explain more about the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on monopoly and oligopoly market. Oligopoly market is a market structure that needs to be taken into account and needs to be closely monitored to ensure it runs healthily despite being seen as a growing economic model, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic, because many people are very affected by this pandemic. This is to avoid the country's economic environment being controlled by only one party. Monopoly market is also said to be able to nurture the economic system by capitalism, which opens up full space for capitalists to carry out their business activity without being interrupted by the government. This is undeniably giving advantage and benefit to the first mover of the country's economics today. However, we also cannot run away from the risk of uncontrolled monopoly practice that have the potential to become major crises in the future. The monopoly market structure was also affected by the COVID-19 pandemic, but was seen to be more of a positive effect. This is because the firm has no competition in the market and it is quite difficult to earn a profit. Therefore, they will increase the price if there is too much demand for their product. Secondly, the impact of COVID-19 pandemic on oligopoly market. As we already know, market oligopoly is a company that is interdependent with other industry that can be said to be very important in the market. The aviation industry, which is also an oligopoly market, is an industry that has been very affected by movement control throughout the country due to the increasing spread of the COVID-19 pandemic. The airline industry, such as Airasia, is a very affected industry due to the COVID-19. This is because the number of passengers is reduced in each flight. The Malaysian Aviation Commission (MAVCOM) also expect that the number of passengers airline seats to decrease between 72.8 to 75.6% of 26.6 million to 29.7 million this year, compared to 109.2 million last year as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. The Transport Minister Hasbi Habibullah also gave the view that the contagion of the coronavirus will not only affect the country aviation industry for the full service airline sector but also low-cost service airlines. In Malaysia, we can see the domestic flight supply has also been reduced and has set high fares, which has led to a downward trend in domestic and international passengers demand starting March 2020. The declining demand and losses for air service for the domestic sector, as mentioned yearly, some leeway has been given by the governments to increase demand after referring to the International Air Transport Association (IATA), International Civil Aviation Organization (ICAO), and Health Organization. This relaxation include permission to travel across state and exemption of physical incarceration in aircraft for all scheduled and unscheduled flight service. To address the situation of sudden ticket cancel, passengers have been offered with aspects such as flight ticket refunds, voucher, unlimited flexibility in terms of debt amendments, and a curtain tax exemption. Malaysia is not far behind in increasing its high-demand cargo handling offering today by providing cargo space in its flight on freight chain, the world's first digital network for air cargo using blockchain technology. Airasia cargo service have been handled by its logistic company Telekom through freight chain. Airasia company can now easily integrate their flight with other airlines digitally. Tony Fernandez, Airasia Chief Executive Officer, said Airasia leasing on freight chain could further strengthen their goal of becoming a leading digital cargo company in the region by providing the best service through a comprehensive airlines network at lower cost.